I think you have taught the whole grammar in 40-minute session, I guess. Hello.
Oh, wonderful. Hello, hello. So nice to see you.
Nice
God
to
bless you.
yeah.
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you so much, sir, to join me, and I welcome you with all my heart. It's great to
Th-
meet you.
Thank you very much. Tell me about yourself and about your effort that you are doing online.
Uh, I mean, not effort, but I'm doing what I feel good about. So
What?
actually, I like to have conversation with different people. I like to share my opinions and understanding about things, and at the same time, I would love to hear from people what they think, what their opinion, how they learn things. So each and everything. So eventually, I love to talk with people. So that's why I'm here, and I have been doing this thing for so long, and it is beneficial for me as well. So yeah.
Very good. And you know why this English communication? What have you done academically? You are a graduate or a postgraduate. What have you done already,
I have
Megha?
done masters in English
Uh,
literature. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm very happy because as you know, as an English teacher, I this is the area of my interest, and good, wonderful. So now
Thank you,
then,
sir.
so that is why you are into this kind of English. You're helping people improve their English. This is what you are doing, huh? Hmm?
This is something I'm doing, and at the same time, I am also improving my language. I'm my communication skills. So
Ah,
that story, my doing MA in English literature, that was different part. And
mhm,
but yeah, I did it
mhm,
uh, because I had a little interest in it, but I
mhm,
wasn't that
mhm,
interested into this, because literature is
mhm,
completely different than
mhm,
normal communication, right? So
mhm,
then I
mhm,
learned that English literature is different. But yes,
mhm,
eventually it helped
mhm,
me to improve my
mhm.
communications skills. Yeah.
You're right. This is my experience also. I was actually born and brought up in a village. And when
Uh-huh.
I did my graduation with math as one of my subjects, mathematics. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay.
But I see, since my early young days, I was always interested in literature, of course. You see, I started with Punjabi literature because I'm a Punjabi. I started with Punjabi literature and then moving on to Hindi and then English finally. But when I did my graduation, because
Mm-hmm.
of mathematics, I was first in Punjab that year. See, when I in Punjab University when
Mm-hmm.
I did my graduation. But though my favorite subject had been mathematics till then,
Mm-hmm.
but on the other hand, I was fond of reading literature, so I opted for doing MA English. Then I did
All
my
right.
MA English.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see, then I started. Then I taught in a college, DAV College, Chandigarh. It is the best college probably in North India. I taught there for 35 years.
Oh
For
my.
35 years, I taught there. Yes, and then I retired as a head of the Department of English. And since then, it was way back in 2009 because
Mm-hmm.
I am actually interacting with young people like you because I have a new method of teaching English to share with you. See, it is an old, so very, see, for example, for those people who
Mm-hmm.
mainly speak Hindi or Punjabi, for
Mm-hmm.
them, this is a wonderful system to master English very fast. Uh,
Correct.
so because of that, I am in touch with people like you. I first I know about your work, and then I just my kind of input is that you can just probably tell me how you are helping people improve their English, and then what I can do further, matlab, uh, to further kind of give some kind of aid to you in your effort to help people improve their English. So now, for example, when you engage people, young people, now normally, Megha, normally the young people who talk to you, they say that they want to get fluency, they want to speak English confidently, and all those things are there. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I have noticed is that all young people like you only stress on one thing. Okay, go, you
Mm-hmm.
should practice for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, and this and that. No,
Mm-hmm.
of course, spoken English is the consequence of practicing speaking English also, no doubt about it. But
Mhm.
then, tell me, I would like to ask from you, suppose somebody asks you, okay, he is not very confident, he wants to improve his English. So
Mhm.
then what do you tell that person? Do you give some suggestions or what do you do to help such people?
Uh, So let me share my experience. So I was also
Hmm,
studying while trying
hmm,
to learn speaking English. So
hmm,
being a Hindi medium school student, we had a
hmm,
mindset that only I mean in those school this is taken as a subject, not as a language.
hmm.
So we
Yes,
taught
yes.
to learn grammar. So we our focus is always
Hmm,
on grammar, all right? And I did the
hmm,
same.
hmm,
But I found that
hmm,
this was not working. I mean, I was facing so many problems, fear, hesitation,
hmm,
less confidence.
hmm,
Even I was not able to
hmm,
I knew grammar, I knew sentence
hmm,
structures, I knew tenses,
hmm,
but I
hmm,
wasn't able to communicate with people. Even I wasn't able to have two or three sentences with strangers, like hi, hello, how are
Good.
you. All
Hmm,
right, so this
hmm,
was the
hmm, hmm,
problem of
hmm,
lacking in confidence, hesitation, fear
hmm,
of talking with
hmm,
strangers. So eventually I
hmm,
learned that okay, this that grammar knowing the grammar is good, but if you want to
hmm,
practice spoken English, then this grammar
hmm,
learning doesn't help you anymore. So then I started
hmm,
speaking. I pushed myself a lot. I putted myself into the situation where I talk forcefully, however I know or
hmm,
know. So this was my
hmm,
story. So I did it
hmm,
deliberately, and I faced a lot of hesitation, fear, and
hmm, hmm,
several things. But after
hmm,
practicing, I mean, I
hmm,
have been practicing more than 2 years. So
hmm,
after practicing exactly speaking, not focusing on
hmm,
grammar but speaking part,
hmm,
so
hmm,
I did this,
hmm,
and eventually
hmm,
now I could speak at least, and I'm very fortunate. I'm grateful for this, that now I'm
hmm,
able to
hmm,
because before 2 years back, I mean 2 years back, yeah,
hmm, hmm, hmm,
I wasn't able to speak two or three sentences with people. So this is
hmm,
my
hmm.
story. So I got this confidence. I
Ah,
get rid of my hesitation. I learned
hmm,
how to communicate with people normally,
hmm, hmm,
naturally, not
hmm,
robotic.
hmm,
So
hmm,
I
hmm.
did this.
No.
Yeah.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Good, good. Now, see that no, like Megha, you tell me, I agree with you. Okay, see, you are when you wish to learn a language, you
Mm-hmm.
are not to be an expert. You are not to be your aim is not some kind of expertise in grammar. You are interested in English communication not because you want to master grammar. See,
Correct.
you take interest in the language because you want to talk in this language very comfortably. Okay, this is
Right.
this is your purpose, huh?
Right.
But then but you cannot like you tell me maybe without maybe by the time you decided now
Mm-hmm.
to orally practice your language,
Mm-hmm.
by the time your grammar, whatever way you learned it, but your grammar was perfectly in the right place. Now listen to me carefully. Whatever
Yes.
you are speaking now,
Yes.
whatever you are telling me now, it is perfect grammar also what you are telling me. So in your case, what did you do? You worked on grammar up to one level. Then you just decided to now put into practice whatever you had learned. And that practical use of that kind of information has brought you now to this level where you are confident. So what I'm suggesting is that
Mm-hmm.
in any language, all languages have their grammar. You cannot shut your eyes on the grammar, you cannot skirt grammar, you cannot avoid grammar. Okay.
True.
But then they see what is the wrong method and what is the right method. The
Mm-hmm.
wrong method of learning English is when too much grammar is in the foreground of your effort. See, You want to learn English, and you are told again and again that learn this, learn that, learn tense, learn active passive, only then you would master the language. So, the fault is not with the grammar. The fault is with that method which puts the grammar in the foreground, But,
Correct.
the right method is that all grammar, because no language is without grammar.
Grammar.
But the approach should be such that grammar should be pushed into the background. It should be pushed into the background. Okay,
Hmm.
so you should develop a method where you have started using English, and the grammar is building brick by brick in the background. So this is what you need to do. And look here, this is what happens to a child that is born to English speaking parents. A child that is a small baby that is born to English speaking parents, uh,
Hmm.
this is what happens to him. That
Hmm.
child, every day the child is acquiring words, and every day the child is getting acquainted with grammatically correct sentences from his own environment. He is not paying any attention to grammar, but he is learning the correct structures. This is what happens to a child born to English speaking parents.
Hmm.
Understand?
Correct.
And then in good public schools, for example, the top slot public schools where English is the medium of teaching. Now, those schools are the replicas of that circumstance. Child over there, a baby born to English parents, learns it naturally. But in a good school where English medium is used, again the child is exposed to that kind of an environment. So teachers talk to him in English, so he grasps the meanings and the structures first, and then later on probably he understands the grammar. And but unfortunately, what is the problem of people like you and people like me? See, I also, my training in English has been exactly like your training in English. That when you were in school, when I was in school, because our schools, and there are probably lakhs of such schools in small towns and villages, where we normally speak Hindi or Punjabi, but we are taught English with too much grammar in the forefront of the strategy. No, here, Megha, I would tell you, this
Hmm.
is what I have done. What I have done, I have developed a new technique of teaching English.
All right.
Understand? And this technique is especially useful for those who speak Hindi or Punjabi. But it is useful anywhere, of course.
Hmm.
Last evening, I was talking to a gentleman in Kerala. That
Hmm.
gentleman also, see, he teaches English to the people, but he's from a banking background, and he has about 1 lakh followers. And
Okay.
see, he told me this thing. Yes, sir, what do I do? I engage the people in expressing themselves orally, oral practice. I
Mhm.
engage the people in oral practice.
Oral practice.
And when it comes to grammar, then I refer them to all the online programs on grammar. There are so many online programs on the grammar, and I ask them to take grammar lessons from them. Okay,
Hmm.
and then I shared my method with him. I told him, sir, I am aware of all the grammar programs on online, but
Hmm.
those my program, probably because of my 40-50 years of experience, it is an improvement on all those methods of teaching grammar. I teach grammar without teaching grammar at all. I
Okay.
teach perfect grammar. Yes, I teach perfect grammar without discussing grammar with my learners. And how do I do it? Now, this is very important.
Yes, that
How do I do it?
I was
So
about
this
to
is what
ask
I'm
the
sharing.
same question. Yeah.
Yes, this is what I'm sharing with you, and I hope that you grasp the idea. And in future, whenever you are helping people practice English orally and improve themselves, you will probably recommend this idea to them always in future if you think it to be useful. And what is this idea
Definitely.
now, Megha? Yes, I'm going to share it with you now. What is
Yeah.
this method? The method of mastering grammar without discussing grammar. What is this method? So this is my method. It is a program. It is called Vernacular Bridge Course to Learn English.
All right. Vernacular
This is
bridge
the name.
course. Okay.
To learn English. So no, see, after our interaction, I'll send you the link. See, this method, Vernacular Bridge Course to Learn English. It is available on, it is, see, I have a book, for example. That book has two versions, Hindi version and Punjabi version, that book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I will send you the link of that book. It is available on Amazon, of course. People are using it from there. See,
All right.
if you just Google search, if you Google search vernacular bridge course to learn English, at once you will get my program over there online. Okay,
Okay.
and that book is available on Amazon. It is also available online. That book. If that book has a Kindle version also. Kindle version also.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then see, after working, actually physically working at many places using that method, last September I started my own YouTube channel also. It started
Okay.
only last September. Yes.
All
So even when you go to YouTube, and again when you Google search there, vernacular bridge course to learn English, there you will get my program on the YouTube. It is there. My
okay.
channel is there. Okay.
All right. Okay.
but
Okay.
after the interaction, I will send you the link for my channel and link for my books also. And now let us come to the idea. What is this idea? the
Yes.
idea is the idea is Megha, I discovered from my long experience that all of us, in all the languages, we throughout our life, we use only 8 structurally different sentences. There is no ninth sentence.
Okay.
Throughout your life, whatever you say, whatever you hear, whatever you write, whatever you read, throughout your life, you are coming across again and again, or you are encountering again and again those 8 structures. So again
Eight.
and again, people, there
Eight
are
word.
only 8. The total number of different structures that you use in your
Okay.
for example, we are Hindi and Punjabi speakers. I'll make the thing more clear to you. But in any language, in all the languages,
Mm-hmm.
basically, people speak only 8 structurally different sentences. 8. There is no ninth sentence. There is
All
no
right.
ninth sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I found out. And then I knew that my learners, they already know those 8 structures in their own mother tongue. They know them like you know them. When we discuss them, you already know those structures in your mother tongue. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so those are your mother tongue structures. And
Mm-hmm.
so first of all, I make my learners aware of those structures. What are the differences, for example? Now let us start. Now, the first category of sentences in my system is called things sentence. What
Things.
do we call them? Things. Things
Things.
sentences are, yes, things. THINGS. Thing sentence. These are the sentences where you do not discuss any activity. You only describe object. For
Mm.
example, he was my friend. He was my friend. For example, this is my house,
Mm-hmm.
and that will be a factory. Now look at the sentence. Huh? He was a farmer. I'm a soldier. He will be a shopkeeper. Okay, so like these structures where you are only describing objects. He's
Objects.
a
Correct.
teacher. He's a teacher. He's very intelligent. He's very well informed. He's very popular. Look at this sentence. I'm only describing that person, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about the activity of that person. So this is what we do. See, sometimes we are only describing objects. So such objects are called. See, this is the first category. This category is called things sentences. Thing sentence.
Things sentences. All right. All right.
Yes, this is the first on my list. Okay,
Okay.
then come to the second structure. Second structure I call possession.
Possession.
POSSE. Possession. It is from possess. Possess means to
Possess.
own something.
To own something.
So
Right.
yes, the second category is of possession sentences. So we use this structure to tell somebody is having something. Okay, for example, he had a lot of land, he had a big house, he had 3 children, he had uh, uh, much influence in his area. No, what I'm doing, I'm
I
telling
have
about,
my YouTube
yes,
channel. You have your YouTube channel.
yes, yes, this is present. This is possession in the chat, present. And similarly, for example, in future also we shall have many discussions in future also. We shall have much kind of ideas to share. We shall have many ideas to share with each other. So this
Correct.
is possession. The second idea is the idea of possession.
Suggestion. Yeah.
Got it? Have you
Yes,
got it?
yes.
Got
I
it?
got it. I got
Acha.
it.
Wonderful. And now from here starts the activity, the area of activity. And you
Activity.
know,
Yes.
there are three main kinds of activity. For example, that activity where you are sharing simply sharing information with people. For example, I got up in the morning, I went for a walk, I stayed in the park for half an hour, then I got back, took my bath. So I'm simply sharing my information about the past with you. Okay. And in the present, for example, I'm a teacher, I teach in a college, I read a book every month, and I appreciate the good literature. So this is simply sharing things in the present.
In the
Okay. And now the future, for example, well, I shall buy a book. I shall buy the book. The book will uh, be sir, I'm talking about simple activity. I shall buy a book. I shall read that book. I shall learn many things from that book. Now, I shall find out what is new in that book. So this is simple. So now the third category is named simple. In simple, simple
simple
means you are simply sharing information.
information.
Actually, the full idea is simple activity. In the bracket you can write the idea activity, simple activity. So these are simple activity sentences when you are simply sharing information with the people, simply.
Mm.
Okay. So this is the third category. And then fourth is the structures that you use when you are describing an activity that was going on, the activity that was going on. So I call them continuing activity sentences.
Continue. Yes.
Continuing. I don't call it continuous. It is not tense. So sometimes there appears to be some similarity between tense terminology and my terminology. But I don't say continuous. I say so. For example, the third sentence was simple activity. The fourth is continuing activity. So it is different from the third one. For example, we are talking, you are listening to me, you are asking questions, I'm answering questions. No, this is continuing activity that I'm handling with the help of this type of structure. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the fourth one. This is the fourth one. Okay. And then the fifth one is perfect activity. The activity that was over at some given time. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I can say that we have already spent about 10 minutes talking to each other, and we have learned something about each other. And so we have uh, uh, passed this time in a very interesting manner. So
Correct.
now these are the structures that I use to cover the activity that was over at a given
Over.
point of time. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
now, up to now, five categories I've discussed with you: things, possession,
Suggestions.
simple,
Simple.
continuing,
Continue.
huh,
Continue.
and then
Activity.
perfect.
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 Uh-huh. And now you will be in for a surprise.
Okay. Okay. We.
because I'm sharing now here something with you which no person who teaches grammar online uh, brings to the notice of the learners. The next two
Alright.
sentences, yes, the sixth and seventh sentence that I'm sharing with you right now
Yes, I'm
in our
eager to.
first meeting.
I'm eager to hear.
So yes, no, look at those two sentences. And this is why I always claim that my system does more than what any grammatical teaching of tenses does. My system achieves more than that. For example, now sixth and seventh sentences are let me tell you those sentences in Hindi, for example, and you just you check your information to find out whether they were taught to you by all those grammarians. अच्छा, तो six sentences कि मैंने सुबह उठना है, मैंने बिग बस पकड़नी है, मैंने दूसरे शहर में जाना है, वहां मैंने एक कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करनी है. Look
Hmm.
at these sentences. How would you manage? How would you not did you learn these sentences any tense? That Megha, just think over these sentences. कि
Yes.
मैंने सुबह उठना है, मैंने एयरपोर्ट जाना है, मैंने जहाज पकड़ना है, फिर मैंने दोपहर तक यूरोप पहुंच जाना है. Look at these sentences.
Yes.
Now, look at these sentences. And these sentences are never taught in your grammar. I know. but in my, but of course what happens later on, all good people, all good kind of communicators, they later on somehow or the other they pick up these sentences from their experience, like you must have picked it already, for example.
Yes.
But look here, I teach this structure to a beginner on day one, for example. Okay, look here, this category of sentences called intention sentences. Intention,
Intent.
INTENTI,
Correct.
मर्जी वाले फिक्रे, ये मर्जी वाले फिक्रे, मर्जी
Yes.
ये मेरी मर्जी है, ये मेरी मर्जी. And the verb pattern, the verb pattern is was were plus 2 plus v1 in the past, and ismr plus v1 plus sorry, was were plus 2 plus v1 in the past, ismr plus 2 plus v1 in the present. That's
Mm-hmm.
all. I'm to wake up in the morning and I'm to catch a plane. Then I'm to travel for a few hours. Then I'm to land in England after about 7 hours. No, these are
Yes.
intentions.
All right. All
What
right.
do you say? Now, tell me.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me what do
Really,
you
it is completely new way, new style to teach. Correct.
it was no, look, for example, it was worth probably your effort to to probably receive it fast, huh? It was
Correct.
worth that. your
Yes.
your your excitement, excitement is well answered. Okay, do you do you, do you agree with me?
I totally agree with you. Yes. Yes.
Okay, now come to the seventh structure. Seventh structure I call compulsion sentences. Compulsion.
Compulsion.
कंपल्शन. हाँ, जैसे somebody says कि मुझे सुबह उठना पड़ता है,
I
मुझे
have to wake up.
सारे, हाँ, सारे परिवार के लिए खाना बनाना पड़ता है, फिर स्कूल के लिए तैयार होना पड़ता है, फिर वहां मुझे स्कूल में काम करना पड़ता है, फिर दोपहर को वापस आना पड़ता है, फिर खाना बनाना पड़ता है. Look at the lot of Indian women. So now these are compulsion sentences.
Compulsion.
Okay,
Correct.
and what is the verb pattern? Has have plus 2 plus v1. Has have plus 2 plus v1. So when it was intention, it was is mr
Is
plus 2
MR
plus v1,
plus 2 plus
plus 2
V1.
plus v1. But yes, now it is compulsion, has have plus 2 plus v1.
Okay.
ठीक
All
है?
right.
So this is compulsion, the track compulsion. Okay.
All
So
right. All right.
we have
Seven.
listed seven up to now.
Seven
Number
structures.
one things. Number one
Things.
things. हाँ, yes, recall.
Yes.
First
Yes.
was thing. हाँ,
Possession. Possession.
yes. Second was possession. Third.
Third is activity. No, no.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
activity.
Yes, active.
Fourth one
Which
is
one? Third. The third name,
continuity.
active. No, listen to me, listen to me. Now, after second sentence, activity will be at everywhere. But
Everywhere.
you keep in mind first three main activities: simple, continuing, and perfect.
Perfect. Correct.
Simple activity, continuing activity, and perfect activity. Okay, and then intention,
Intention.
and then compulsion,
Intention.
and
Compulsion.
then
Correct.
compulsion. So
Yes.
you have seven. You have now
Seven.
seven structure.
Yes.
And eighth structure, mega eighth structure is modals.
Models.
MODALS. Now look here. This word is a highly mispronounced word. You have to be very careful. So some people pronounce it modal, and some people mispronounce it as model. All
Okay.
three are wrong pronunciation. It is modal. MODL, modal.
Model.
Not model. Yes, neither it is
Model.
modal, nor it is modal, nor it is model. It is modal.
Model.
MODAL. Model.
Model.
And
Okay.
models are why do we call them models? Because they are mood. They are mood verbs. They are related to your mood. See, when you make sentences with modal verbs, you are communicating your mood also. For
Hmm.
example, when I say that I'm a teacher, it is a simple sentence. But when I say I can teach you very easily.
Mm-hmm.
This sentence carries a little bit of my mood also, the mood of my confidence and my capacity. Okay. And similarly, when you, for example, suppose there are clouds in the sky and you look at the sky, you say that it might rain by the evening. So this is
Yes.
a mood of weak probability. So modals are mood verbs, and this is the last category of sentences. So Megha, now look at these eight categories: things, possession,
Mm-hmm.
simple, continuing, perfect,
Perfect.
intention,
Intention,
compulsion, modal,
compulsion,
and
and
modal.
model.
Modal.
Models. Yeah.
Modal. And this is how I teach grammar. You make your learners proficient in these eight structures. I guarantee you the whole grammar is learned. The whole grammar is learned, because then after this basic work is done, after you have made your learner master these age structures,
Mhm.
70% of their problem is solved. And it is solved by taking help from your mother tongue, because in your mother tongue you know them very already, you know them, and
Yes.
then you have to only start saying them in English. That's all. And when you cover this much, 70% of your grammar is covered. I know whole grammar. You know what is grammar? For example, then
Yes.
this what we have discussed up to now, actually, it takes care of the whole tense. For example, the tense that is taught in schools and colleges, the tense is more than taken care of when you do this, because tense only teaches you for 6 sentences, and I
Mhm.
have already taught you 8 sentences. So
Yes.
your tense is covered. Tense is covered. Okay. Then what is the next grammar? Next is active passive,
Yes.
narration,
Naresh.
and then there are parts of speech, determiners, qualifiers, and then there are phrases, then there are non-finite verbs, and then there are clauses, and modals are already learned. So when you teach 8 sentences, you have covered the tense and you have covered the modals. Okay.
Models.
And then in a single step, I tell my learners, look here, all structures have their passive versions also. And what
Mhm.
is and it is so simple. It is not a grammatical kind of thing. You are to you come to find out that when my subject is doer,
Hmm.
I take tea. I take tea. My subject is doer.
Hmm.
So when the subject is doer, it is active structure. But when I say tea is taken, my
Hmm.
subject is non-doer. So that is all. If I make a sentence with doer subject, I am making a active pattern. And if
Passive.
I make a sentence by using a non-doer subject, I am making a passive pattern.
Passive.
So,
Correct.
but this is the next. This is what I tell my learners, when once they have mastered those 8 patterns in active version. In active version, they master the 8 and then in a single day they learn the passive patterns also. And all the time when I make them talk, whatever they have learned, I engage them in oral practice also. when they
Mhm.
are practicing orally when they are practicing orally, they are learning all the narration rules are automatically covered. Okay. And then the rest of the grammar depends on only giving them 3 ideas: how to recognize nouns, how to recognize adjectives, and how to recognize adverbs. This simple idea leads them from verbs to phrases to non-finites to clauses. Very simply, the problem is solved. Now
Oh.
this is what I was to tell. And now look here, getting back to those 8 structures, Megha, can you think of a sentence which does not fall into that small, that is not from that set of it? Now you just try. Let us do some small kind of exercise work for 2 or 3 minutes. You
All right.
think of a sentence, and I'll tell you, okay, it is one of those 8. Think of any sentence that comes to your mind.
Okay. I'm fond of riding a car. Driving a
Okay,
car.
I'm for
I'm
yes,
fond of
yes,
driving a car.
riding a car. Yes, you are fond of riding a car. You are describing yourself. It is a thing sentence. You are using an is am. You are using is am. I am. That's all. The
I
rest
am.
of it is only. The rest of them are phrases. You actually are the sentence that have used is I am. So you
I am.
have used is am. It is a thing. It is a thing sentence. It
Hmm.
falls into things category. Chalo, come up with any other idea.
Mm, let me think. A little
Huh?
tough sentence.
Huh. No, think of any sentence. No, think of any sentence.
um,
Yes.
it is done by him.
It is.
Done by him.
Now look here. Now this is the second step. You have spoken a sentence that is passive simple. That is simple
Hmm.
but passive.
Yes.
That is no. It is no. For example, what is the active structure? Active structure. Okay, he does it.
Yes. Yes.
He does.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does it. So, we are to first teach our learner. He does it. It is simple activity.
It
What
does.
you spoke was only the passive pattern, and the
Passive.
passive pattern he will learn in a single day all the passive patterns once you have taught the active pattern.
Correct. 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 Yes. So I think you have taught the whole grammar in 40-minute session, I guess.
Acha, now Megha, look here. Now look here. What do I expect of you? Look here.
Yeah.
How many subscribers have you? See,
Uh,
and how long have how long have you been working?
been 2 years, and
Acha, 2 years. How many subscribers you have?
I have 32,000. I mean, more than
Acha,
32,000 subscribers.
now listen to me. Listen to me. Otherwise,
Yes,
I'm going
actually,
to tweak your.
yeah. Please,
Listen
please.
to me once.
I just want to inform you.
Uh,
We have only 2 minutes left for this session.
Okay. In
Yeah.
these 2 minutes, I tell you what you are doing. If you
Yes,
look here,
please, please.
first of all, you tell me how do you rate this approach to? Is it less effective, more effective, much more effective? Now look here, I give 4 parameters. My
Hmm.
system is less effective than the present one, equally effective, more effective, much more effective. What do you tell me? Where do you rate my system?
It is much more effective. If you ask me,
Good. No, yes, good. No, because you have very little time. It is much more effective now. Megha, what you are to do now?
Hmm.
You are to look here for future. I pray that your audience increases further. But you are to, especially in all kind of interactions with other people who want you, who talk to you for gaining confidence in English.
Hmm.
You do make them subscribe to my channel for
Yes,
learning English this way. Okay?
of
Huh?
course, of course, of course.
You will do this, okay? You will do
Yes.
this for me, and I'm going to watch. And
Yes.
now,
No,
the day you post my this video, see
uh,
on your channel.
I'll
After
put
that,
your
I would be
channel's link. Don't worry about that. Please share your
no,
channel.
no, no, no. No, Mega, putting a link is one thing. Look here, you put the link, no doubt. But now, for future, you are to keep telling your audience to go to this channel to learn properly the grammatically
Correct,
correct English. Okay,
correct,
and
correct.
carry on. So you are to make them subscribe to this because it is now. Look here, already.
This would be
Why I'm
beneficial
in,
for them.
Huh. Now look here. Why I'm insisting on it? I'm insisting on it now because I have found out that up to now 3 or 4 young people like you have interacted with me. Understand?
Mhm.
And they have posted the videos also, and the videos have been watched by thousands of people also. But where none of them has subscribed to this channel.